So, hi everyone. My name is Whitney Krieger and I live in Southwest Kansas. I am a wife to my husband Luke of 8 years this year. I have a daughter who is almost 20 months old named Ember, and I am pregnant with my second child due in August. So this video, I really wanted to share why toxins matter and why I am so passionate about healthy living, specifically with young living. So if you haven't noticed, our society seems to be getting sicker rather than healthier. So when I was in grade school, I remember a couple of my classmates having something specific that was wrong with them, but there were very, very few. Like I had one classmate who had diabetes, and then another who I would assume was autistic. I didn't know the name at the time, but otherwise, I don't remember anybody being allergic to peanuts. I had one friend who had like every allergy under the sun, but that was it. And we didn't have restrictions on what we could bring to school because of what everyone was dealing with. I don't remember any of my friends having a laundry list of prescriptions that they had to take every single day. And so in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if we have a smartphone where I can now see people face to face, we have the technology that we should be healthier. So what's going on? What is happening that we are getting sicker rather than healthier as a society, especially here in America? So a couple of things impact this beyond just health and nutrition that we can't always control. What's in our environment, what we breathe every day. We know we all drive cars. We know about carbon emissions. We know about pollution, things like that. We can't always control those things. But what we can control is what we choose to use and consume, basically putting in, on, around our body every single day, day in and day out. And we can also choose to educate ourselves on common practices and what is typical of what is causing these issues and what can help prevent these things from happening. So this is where I got passionate. So I started with Young Living when I was a brand new mom. I had literally just had a baby. The day I went into labor, I ordered my starter kit with Young Living, and I know anything. Like I didn't eat that bad, and I have been a runner and really into fitness and athletics my whole life, but I didn't know anything about really that much about nutrition, honestly. Thankfully for good genetics, I've never had to diet. I love ice cream, and I pretty much eat whatever I want or did at the time. And I'd never had another human being that I was caring for like a child. And so I very quickly was a new mom, had this kit that I hadn't even opened, and I had a sick 6-week-old, and I was nursing. So if you know about women can't have based on synthetic medicine, anything that would help with a common cold will impact your milk supply. So I knew what I couldn't take, anything to give me relief. And then Ember was too little. Most medicines for kids say 2 years, it's safe, otherwise ask a doctor. And for that little, it's pretty iffy. So I remember messaging my friend. I had this kit of oils, didn't know what to do. And I was like, help me, what do I do? And so she gave me a couple suggestions. I remember having immediate relief. And then I remember Ember being very, very healthy all winter long. The second reason, other than just knowing the beginning of what to do with oils, was I learned about toxins. So basically just flat out, we are being lied to. I mean, that's what it comes to. We assume companies care about our health, but that would be like saying Ben & Jerry's cares about obesity. I mean, it just flat out, there it is. Like they know we like these things and they're going to sell it to us and they're going to market it. And so what has happened is, especially after common things like the microwave, the refrigerator, everything in our household became very automatized. So things are, I mean, you could pop it in the microwave. You didn't have to make it yourself. Like historically, everything that we have had has had to be made, has had to be manufactured manufactured by ourselves because it didn't exist. Like the components of it did, but people historically have known how to do it because that's how they survived. Or somebody very local did it for them, but it wasn't like somebody clear out there who doesn't know Bob from Joe. It was people in their community who were trained specifically in that and cared about those people and their health. So because of that detachment and because of wanting to make a profit, companies have made things easier, which unfortunately means a lot of things are now made synthetically with chemicals and with toxins and with products that have now, after long-term use, been linked to some really severe issues. And so I won't get into a lot of that, but there are fantastic apps out there. One I will mention a couple times tonight is called the Think Dirty app. So what it does is it allows you to scan anything in your house or to look at the ingredients on a scale of 1 to 10 of clean and healthy to toxic, what that product would rate and why. So another one is the Environmental Working Group, or EWG.com. Same thing, you can look up every single ingredient. So what I learned was there's a difference in ingredients and synthetic ingredients. Carbon-based means that it is made in nature and can be broken back down again and recycled. Anything that is carbon, so it is not by our body. It can be fooled for a little bit, but unfortunately, something that is synthetic will impact something else in our body. And so a couple things happen. One, if you, for instance, are on medication for something, if it's helping this one thing over here, it could be hurting this thing. So we are used to hearing commercials that say, it helps this, but beware of bloody, 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 blah. And because you need this, bloody, 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 blah, then leads to, here's my new laundry list of what I have to take to treat those things because I need this. So what also can happen, that's one side of it. The second side is called bioaccumulation. So basically, these things are foreign, so our body doesn't know what to do with it. It can get rid of some of it, but some of it, our body starts to attack because it's basically saying you are a culprit. Think of it like almost like a splinter. If you have a splinter in your finger, what does your body do? It gets inflamed, it gets angry, and it tries to get it out of its system, and it starts to attack it. Sometimes it can lead to infection, but it's trying to heal itself, basically. But when you get a plank in your leg, it's going to have a whole lot harder time healing that plank than if you had a small sliver of a splinter. So what happens when we put synthetic things in and on and around our body, breathing it in day after day, slathering it on our skin, because our skin, unlike we think of it as an armor system, it's actually an organ that is absorbing everything we put on it, getting it into our body. So day after day after day, we are exposed to these things. And what happens is bioaccumulation acts up in our body, and then our body starts to be impacted by it, and it can either attack it or it can start to change our makeup. Like it can literally change our cells. And so I know a lot of people have the attitude of like, well, everything causes cancer and everything should be feared and harmed and whatever. Which is true to an extent because it isn't just one use. Like using my hairspray one time is not going to cause breast cancer. But it's things day after day after day, and they have been linked to reproductive disruption. They have been found inside tumors. They have been linked to, allergies and respiratory issues and all of these different things. That is what can cause an issue long term. So this is why this matters. This is why I care so desperately, because I was suddenly handed this tiny baby and said, raise this human to be a productive adult. And then I learned the things that are inside the products that say it's safe for my baby were actually toxic and linked to serious issues. I have an issue with that. I am the gatekeeper of my home, and I get to decide what will be used in, on, and around my child as long as they are in my care. So that is why I'm passionate about this. And that's why I teach on this. That's why it's important to me. because people are starting to take their health back, once again, companies don't want to lose their money. So instead of making huge changes that would cut their bottom line, they are getting better at marketing, and they are getting better at not brainwashing us in a way that appease our minds so we feel like we're making a good decision when really they haven't changed anything. So I just really want to make sure that you are educated and you are informed and you are understanding why this is something to feel important about. And the best part is that there are very, very easy changes that you can make, that you're not going to break, not going to be scared of everything and have to start making all of your own crap, because I don't have time for that. I'm about to have 2 kids. I don't have time to learn how to knead my own dough every day. So anyways, there's good news, but I just want you to care. I want you to start to look into the things and to stand up and be the gatekeeper for your home, because you do not have to settle for what might be common or what might be normal. It doesn't have to be common for you. You can make a change and you can live outside of those statistics. So I am excited to share more. I'm getting ready to do another video that's going to talk about what to do about this problem and how to make steps forward.